Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I know how precious time is these days, particularly in the NHS, so I shall keep this session as short as possible. I'm Tony Walsh, Business Development Manager for Crescendo, and in today's webinar, I will introduce you all to our new AI-powered voice and documentation platform, DigiWeb, which has been specifically developed for the medical sector. We're genuinely excited about this launch because it's designed to enhance how medical professionals work with voice and documents on a day-to-day basis, making the process faster, simpler, and more reliable. Throughout this session, I will show you how the platform uses the latest AI technology to not only improve productivity, but to maintain the accuracy and control that medical work demands. I will provide a live demonstration of DigiWeb during this session to show all the features and benefits this solution will provide your service. I will discuss how quick and easy the process is to switch to DigiWeb. I will highlight what options are available to you right now. And finally, we will conclude with a Q&A session at the end. However, should you have any questions during the session, please put them into the chat and my colleague Olivia will be on hand to pick them up. The intention of today's webinar is to show how Crescendo can fit into real medical workflows and environments to deliver immediate and practical benefits to your service. So thank you once again for taking the time to join us, and let's take a look at what makes this platform a real game changer. So DigiWeb. DigiWeb is an all-in-one dictation and transcription platform built specifically for medical professionals. It is important to note that DigiWeb is not an AI scribe. However, DigiWeb leverages the power of AI to help accelerate the production of clinical documentation. It requires explicit clinician dictation and does not add or infer additional information, ensuring clinicians clinically keep their voice. Primary and secondary care using DigiWeb are seeing immediate results thanks to features such as fast transcription, which converts dictation audio into accurate text in seconds, AI Assistant, which tidies up grammar and punctuation, creates referral letters, consultation notes, and medical reports, again in seconds. Speech recognition, capture work as you speak with high accuracy. And traditional digital dictation, a smooth, reliable workflow your team will already be familiar with. What's most compelling is the impact DigiWeb is having on medical professionals who are saving a minimum of 1 hour per day, while significantly reducing administrative costs compared to other providers. That saved time can be refocused in other areas for both doctors and secretaries. The AI is a real game changer. It provides quick, accurate transcription and advanced speech recognition. So your documentation is not only faster, but also more precise. DigiWeb will also interface with EMIS Web and System 1, pulling patient demographics from either platform into the DigiWeb workflow, providing relevant and key information to the user. This would include patient name, date of birth, and NHS number. DigiWeb is very easy to deploy and is available as a desktop or browser-based application, allowing for access on-site or remotely. A good example would be patient home visits. Access is available via any device that has internet accessibility. For example, smartphones, iPads, and tablets. Work types within DigiWeb can be configurable to each site's requirements, specifically to your organization's way of working. You tell us what they are, and our technical team will put them into your own unique and personalized DigiWeb platform. Okay, so please bear with me and I shall switch screens and show you the software in action. Okay, I think you can see my EMIS web platform now. So as I mentioned in the first few slides, DigiWeb will interface with both EMIS web and System 1. So showing you in the EMIS web platform, what I shall do is open up a patient record. So in this case, I've opened Irene Davis. And then what I'm going to do now is take you to the DigiWeb login screen. Again, as mentioned, this is desktop and browser based. So this is the desktop version, which interfaces with EMIS Web and System 1. And as you can see, it's username and password protected. So when I log in, we will receive a screen which should be familiar to most of you. So as you can see down my left-hand side, I have all my relevant work boxes. And then across the middle, I have my dictation workflow. What I do with this new button here, I click new dictation. It's going to ask me what my work type is. Again, as I mentioned, these are configurable. And you'll see now I have all the patient demographics within the DigiWeb platform. I then also have an option to select, do I want to do a dictation or do I want to use speech to text? So on this occasion, I will use dictation. So as you can see, now I have two options here. I have subject information and I have document information. The subject information will hold all the demographics and the document information will hold all the specific information around what the file entails. So what I do using my Philips speech mic, I do my dictation. Dear colleague, R.E. Declan, 30-year-old male. I'm writing to refer Declan, a 30-year-old patient who presents with a suspected internal knee injury, likely ligamentous or soft tissue damage. 2 weeks ago, jumping to reach a ball, he landed awkwardly and heard a pop sound. The pain was immediate and severe, preventing him from continuing the activity, and he had to be carried off the field. After returning home, he applied ice, but the pain remained deliberating. The following day, he attempted painkillers without relief. Subsequently, he attended A&E, where X-rays were performed, and no significant findings were identified. Despite this, his knee continued to cause significant discomfort. Prompting this consultation, after hearing about our clinic, the patient reports no prior issues with his knee. He notes that the swelling has gradually improved over the past 2 weeks, and stiffness has also lessened, allowing him to walk unaided after initially using crutches for a few days. His medical history includes asthma, and he is otherwise healthy, has no ongoing drug allergies, does not smoke, and consumes less than 10 units of alcohol per week. Given the patient's history and examination findings, I would recommend further imaging and an MRI scan. The patient has been informed of this and agrees to this referral. Yours sincerely. Okay, so you'll notice now I have a 1 minute 25-second dictation. So, like with traditional dictation systems, I can rewind the file back to the beginning, I can play the file through, and at any stage, I can insert or overwrite what I've previously dictated. Once I'm completely happy with the content of the file, I then can select a priority status. I have normal, high, and urgent. Now, if you submit an urgent file, it will put the file at the top of the list, regardless of the date and time it was created. So when I'm satisfied, I simply click submit. I will log out as an author and log in as a transcriptionist. Now, as you can see, at the top of my list, I have the file I've just dictated. And as you can see, it's clearly identified with an exclamation mark in a round circle to indicate this is urgent. As a secretary, I double click on the file. And at this point, I have one of two options. I can use the system in the traditional way, so I can play the file back and type as I listen. Or alternatively, as mentioned before, you may have admin staff on annual leave or sick leave, or you may have a backlog of files. What you have an option of here is to use this great button here, Fast Transcribe, which will basically transcribe the audio into text in seconds. Now, as you may not have noticed, I did not include any punctuation when I dictated. So using this button here, I can use some of these very funky AI buttons. So the first one is smart punctuation. So I can tidy that up. And secondly, I may want to create a letter. From this point now, the secretary just simply copies and pastes the text, places that into the letter template or wherever that information needs to go, and they complete the job. Now, the second part of the demo is to show you the speech recognition. If I log back in, and again, I'll use the same patient demographics from EMIS that I used previously. And again, just to reiterate, the same feature will work with System 1. I click New Dictation. I select my work type. Again, there we have the demographics. And on this occasion, I'm going to select Speech to Text. I confirm. And this time, again, using my Philips speech mic, I dictate my file. Dear Dr. Collins, new paragraph, please could you see my patient, Irene Davis, who presented in surgery, complaining of tight central chest pain, coupled with pain radiating down the right arm, full stop. Episodes last 3 to 4 minutes and is causing anxiety, which may be contributing to the problem, full stop. My patient's been taking very strong pain relief for the last 3 weeks, however, the pain has not subsided, full stop. She's been taking very strong pain relief and has been unable to stand or walk at all, full stop. New paragraph. I'd be most grateful of your assessment of my patient at your earliest convenience, full stop, new paragraph. Yours sincerely. So as you can see now, I have my text on the screen. Now, if I'm working independently as a doctor, what I can do again is I can use my AI buttons to tidy up the punctuation. Alternatively, if I do have secretarial resource, I can simply submit this job to the secretarial typing pool. So I will complete the job. And that kind of concludes the demo. So I'll just stop sharing my screen for a second. Okay. I think you will all agree. This platform is very impressive. Just to go over some important points with DigiWeb. Users only use the functionality they want. If a doctor just wants to dictate and submit their work, as they are used to, they can. The same for a secretary. The smart add-ons are on demand and user-centric rather than system-wide. And most importantly, you only pay for what you use. I believe this flexibility is the unique feature of DigiWeb. And again, just to reiterate, if you have any burning questions, please put them in the Q&A and I'll cover them off at the end. So, the impact of switching to DigiWeb. As you can see in this slide, 1 hour of audio would take a secretary a minimum of 2 hours to type. And this is a very conservative stat. And in a lot of cases, a lot of would more compared to the 5 to 15 minutes used in fast transcription. And for every hour a doctor types, the equivalent amount of text would take half the time using speech recognition. Again, this is an extremely conservative fact, as extensive research shows that the average user of speech recognition is generally 3 times quicker. To conclude these facts, using fast transcription for just 2 hours of audio would save you 1.5 hours. And using speech recognition would help a doctor be a minimum 50% more quicker than typing. This isn't factoring in real life scenarios for medical organizations experiencing staff on sick leave or annual leave, or that there may already be a backlog of dictations in the system. I know what some of you are thinking. We already have a supplier. It's a hassle to switch. Let's just stick with what we know. It's easy to stay with a legacy provider because it feels like the path of least resistance, but is it? Take a look at your current setup through 3 lenses. Financial. What is your annual drain on your budget? Functionality. When was the last time the software actually improved? Freedom. How are you locked in? You might be shocked at the price gap between what you have and what's now possible with DigiWeb. Saving that extra budget could fund a lot of other priorities this year. Don't let a notice period be the only reason you stay in a stagnant relationship. If you choose to use the advanced features within DigiWeb, as you can see in this slide, medical sites will immediately see significant savings on time and massively reduced administrative costs, while still producing accurate and consistent documentation. For the purpose of calculating return on investment, we've assumed just 1 hour saved per user per week, but in reality, many users would reasonably expect to save up to 5. Take secretaries, for example. For every hour recorded audio that needs typing, fast transcription can deliver a draft in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. In most cases, much closer to 5, as you saw in my demo. For doctors using speech recognition, it's on average around 3 times faster than typing. And in our calculations, we've assumed they are super quick typists to keep the figures deliberately cautious. This is all without mentioning other time savings across the service. For instance, IT teams can rely on Crescendo's fully managed service for everything from installing new software, helpline support, adding or amending users' details, changing passwords, and so on. So, switching to DigiWeb from another platform is a straightforward process. All existing hardware is supported, so it's just a case of clearing down all old jobs before the switch. New jobs will go on DigiWeb whilst the old ones are cleared down. Once cleared, the legacy system can be removed completely. This makes it simple to pick a team or department should you wish to trial DigiWeb. So if you are interested in getting a custom proposal for your service, please book a call with us. We will tailor the proposal to your exact user numbers and the functionality requirements needed per site. So if you would like a more detailed demo for colleagues, or you would like to set up a free trial, please book now. Please don't wait until your contract renewable date before acting, as you could start seeing immediate cost savings and vastly improve efficiencies immediately. The QR codes on this slide will take you to our online calendar, where date and time convenient to you with one of our experts. Alternatively, put your details into the chat and one of the Crescendo team will contact you directly to discuss options further. Lastly, you can call or email us. details will be on the final slide. Okay, I think we've got just enough time to run through questions. I'll leave the contact details on the final slide here. So thank you very much for your valuable time. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I'll leave our contact details on the screen for a while so you can get in touch. But again, thank you for your time.